Hey guys, welcome back. So this video series is designed to be an introduction to Java from a Python background, meaning maybe you've taken a class in Python and now your next class is going to be in Java and you're still kind of a beginner level programmer because maybe you've only taken one or two classes. This series is designed to help you with that transition because Java is a compiled language whereas Python's interpreted. So there's a lot of syntactical differences between the two. And a lot of people have trouble going from Python to Java. So this series is designed to kind of make that transition a little easier for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we know is we're going to use an IDE to code in. I use IntelliJ. You could use whatever Java IDE you want if you have a preference. If you're coming from Python and you use PyCharm as your IDE, IntelliJ is made by the same people. It's made by JetBrains. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys real quick how to install IntelliJ, how to install your JDK and whatnot, so that we can get started coding. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to these websites. I'll post the links in the URLs inside of the comments. And so we're going to go to oracle.com. We're going to find downloads, and we're going to install what's called the JDK. What the JDK is it's the Java Development Kit. And what that is it's basically this big package of files. And what those are is it's libraries that you use when programming in Java. It's all of the Java libraries, the built-in things Java offers you so that you could use their built-in stuff to program in the Java language. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to need the development kit if we want to program in Java. So this is where we're going to download that. So go ahead and install JDK. It should be JDK version like 1.8 or 8 or whatever the newest version is. Go ahead and download that. And then once we have that, we're going to go to the JetBrains website. Again, the URL is going to be posted in the comments. And we're going to find the IntelliJ download. And go ahead and choose your operating system. And go ahead and just download the Community Edition. We're not going to worry about the Ultimate Edition. We don't need it. The Community Edition is free, and it's perfect. It's wonderful. So go ahead and download that. And once we have that, what you're going to do is you're going to run IntelliJ. And you're going to have some prompt, something where it's going to ask you to set up your project SDK or your project JDK. Basically, your SDK stands for Software Development Kit, and that's going to be the JDK that you downloaded from Oracle. So when you find that, it's going to say something like JDK home path. It's going to ask you to specify that. You're going to go ahead and click. You're going to navigate to where you downloaded that JDK. When you find it, you're going to click OK, and you're going to set your the SDK, the JDK home path to that. And what that's doing is it's telling IntelliJ, hey, those Java libraries that we want to use, this is where they're located at. That's where my development kit is. So IntelliJ knows where to pull those libraries from. So once you have that done, you're going to click OK, and then you're going to click Create New Project. So when you click Create New Project, it's going to bring you to a window that looks something like this. At the top, you want to make sure that your project SDK is equivalent to whatever Java JDK that you downloaded from Oracle. Once we know that that's done, we're going to click Next, and then we're going to click Next because we don't have to do anything here. And then it's going to ask you for a project name and to specify your project location. You can name your project whatever you want. I'm going to use my preset Java Videos project right here because that's where I program my videos in. And you can name it whatever you want and specify the location wherever you want. And then once you're done with that, you're going to click Finish, and that's when it's going to bring you to a window that looks like this. This is the compiler. This is where we're going to code. And so over here on the left side in the navigation window, we're going to extend the Java videos, that's our project. And we're going to find this little blue folder where it says SRC. And that stands for source. And what this is this is where we're going to put our Java classes. A Java class is basically your PyFile. So anything you want to do has to be done inside of a class. And this is where we create those classes. So we're going to right-click Source. We're going to say New. We're going to say Java Class. And we're going to specify the name of our class. You can name it whatever you want. Java convention says that we use capital letters when specifying a class. And if there's more than one word in that class name, we camel case each consecutive word. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one, I'm just going to call it main. Again, with a capital letter at first. I'm going to go ahead and click Enter, and I'm going to delete this doc string because we don't need to worry about that. And immediately what you're going to see is this thing here that says public class main, and it has these two little an opening brace and a closing curly brace. So in Java, your class name here inside the code has to be what the name of your class file is out here. You can't have this named anything else if it doesn't match the file name out here. So like if I said public class Scooby, it's going to throw an error because it needs to be named main. The names don't match. This tells it basically this is the class. So we got to make sure the names match. And there's two keywords here. Keywords in IntelliJ are highlighted in orange. And it says public class. So in IntelliJ, when you created a PyFile, it was blank, right? And if you got into objects a little bit in your Python class, you saw that you could do like, class, whatever, and then you can open up a class. Well, in IntelliJ, that's not optional. You have to declare your class. You have to say public class, and then it has to match that name once again. And what these curly braces are is this is encapsulation in IntelliJ or in Java. Everything that you do has to be encapsulated within the realm of a class. So, and again, in Python, I could just have a blank PyFile and I could say, x equals 3, y equals 5, and I could, just print, x plus y or some wonky stuff like that, right? You can't actually do that in IntelliJ. It has to be done, again, within the realm of that class. So we're going to go ahead and create that class, public class main, and it has to exist within the realm of this open and closing curly brace. So where this brace opens, in between this opening brace and in between this closing brace, everything between those two is going to be within the realm of that class. It's going to be encapsulated inside of that class. So we have our class. What can we do now? Well, in IntelliJ or in Java, what you need is what's called a main method. So I'm going to go ahead and code that real quick and explain everything that happens after I'm done coding it. So just follow along. So we're going to say public static void main string array. So we're going to open up that method. So basically what a main method is whenever we run this file, whenever you run any file, any class, what it's going to do is it's going to search the class and it's going to try to find what's called a main method. And the main method is this built-in method that we code that is what's ran when this program's called. So if I were to run main right now, it would search all my methods, everything inside of here until it finds this public static void main, and then it's going to run whatever code's inside of here. Now this method is created inside of this class, which means anything I code inside of this method exists within inside of the realm of this method. It's encapsulated within the main method. So let's go over what these keywords here mean because they're confusing. Public static void, and then this weird thing here, and then args, right? So this would be the equivalent of, almost the equivalent of, let's say we said def main in Python, right? Well, this is your public static void main is the method definition. So what public means, we just have to we define our methods, we define our functions a little differently than we do in Python. It's a lot more strict because Java is a strictly typed language. So what public means is basically if we were to use main as an object in another class, we could call this method from that other class. We could call this method from outside of this class. That might seem a little confusing when I go into objects. We'll go over that a little bit more in depth. What static means basically is that this exists without needing to create it. Everything in Java is an object, and we have to instantiate objects. But when we use a static member, what that says is, hey, this method exists without me needing to create an instance of it, without me needing to instantiate an instance of this object main, of this class main. The memory location, or the memory is already allocated for it and everything. So that's what the static keyword means. It's created at compile time. Void means there's no return type for the method. So let's say I have def main in Python and I had like x equals 5, and I could say return x. It's not that simple in Java. In Java, we have to declare inside the method definition whether or not there's going to be a return type or not. And we do that with void. Void means there's no return type. If I wanted to return an integer, I'd say public static int. But for this, it's public static void. And what that means is if there's no return type for this method, it's not going to return anything. So it looks like I'm running low on time. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and then in the next video we'll go into coding a couple things. I'll talk about how to create variables in Java, how to instantiate objects, and some of the syntactical differences between that in Python. So yeah, looks like we got our main method created, we got our class created. In the next video we'll go over that, and I hope to see you guys there.